Let's jump right into this explainer and uncover what the source material actually reveals about the 5 behaviors of true high intelligence. We're breaking down a seriously fascinating concept today, one that completely shatters those old school traditional definitions of what it means to be, quote unquote, smart. It's an exploration that takes the spotlight off the things we are always told matter and shines it directly on how we actually behave out in the real world. So I want to start off by challenging you to reflect on your own habits for a second. Think about how you react when asked what makes a mind superior. Is it just raw brain power? Do you instantly picture like a chess grandmaster, a math prodigy, or maybe someone who can literally recite a textbook from memory? For decades, society has trained us to associate intelligence with these intense, purely cognitive, and honestly kind of isolated feats. But the source material asks us to look much closer at our daily lives and the actual habits we form. Look at the massive paradigm shift here. On one side, we've got traditional intelligence. Think IQ scores, academic pedigree, the whole 9 yards. And on the other side, behavioral intelligence. The text argues that traditional metrics are totally static. They basically just tell you what a brain can compute in a sterile testing environment. But behavioral intelligence, well, that tells you how a mind operates in the messy, completely unpredictable real world. It's a massive shift from what you know to what you actually do with what you know. Okay, let's look at the first 2 markers of a superior mind side by side: emotional intelligence and cognitive flexibility. Let's unpack that first one. Emotional intelligence is the ability to manage your own emotions and understand the emotions of the people around you. I want you to reflect on your own emotional reactions in everyday situations. When an unexpected crisis hits at work or a conversation just completely goes off the rails, does your mind immediately react with panic, defensiveness, or anger? The source highlights that a truly superior mind pauses. It observes the emotion without being hijacked by it. This kind of real-time regulation requires immense neurological control. It's not just about being nice, it is a literal marker of high-level mental processing. And that internal emotional control, it paves the way for our second marker, cognitive flexibility. This is your mental ability to switch between thinking about 2 different concepts and to think about multiple concepts simultaneously. Imagine you're driving a route you've taken for years, right? And suddenly, bam, the road is blocked. A rigid mind gets frustrated, overwhelmed, just totally stuck. But a cognitively flexible mind, it instantly zooms out, calculates new variables, and seamlessly embraces a new path. It's the intellectual agility to just let go of a dead idea the very second a better one presents itself. To put that into perspective, take a look at this breakdown. We have a massive 80% chunk dedicated to behavioral responses. The source asserts that in practical, real-world settings, those traditional metrics only account for about 20% of how we identify true capability. Basically, it means that the person who succeeds, the one who navigates complex modern challenges the most effectively, isn't necessarily the person with the highest test scores. No way. It's the person whose everyday behaviors demonstrate acute adaptability. So, we've mastered the internal landscape with emotional intelligence and our mental agility with cognitive flexibility. That brings us to our third crucial marker, social awareness. The source material makes a really powerful statement about this. Basically, intellect is proven in how you read a room. Academic pedigree might get your foot in the door for sure, but everyday social awareness determines whether you actually understand the dynamics at play. A highly intelligent person picks up on subtle shifts in body language, group dynamics, unspoken tensions. They're processing this external data just as rigorously as they would a complex math equation. So, how do we actively apply all this awareness? Well, that brings us to the 4th superior trait, proactive behavior. Think about it. Are you someone who waits for problems to happen, or are you constantly looking 2 steps ahead? Notice this progression from reactive habits to proactive superior behaviors. That lowest bar, that represents the standard reaction, putting out fires only after they've started to burn. The middle bar is preparation, having a fire extinguisher ready just in case. But that highest bar, that represents proactive behavior. It's designing the system so it doesn't catch fire in the first place. A superior mind doesn't just process the present, it actively anticipates the future. It's an absolute game changer in how the brain relates to time, consequence, and environment. We can actually break this proactive behavior down into 2 actionable steps. Step 1, observation. Step 2, adaptive action. action. You literally cannot be genuinely proactive without first keenly observing your environment. That means using that social awareness and emotional intelligence we just talked about. Once you've observed a pattern or a shift in the data, you don't just sit on it. You adapt your actions before the pattern becomes a critical problem. It takes this huge abstract concept of being smart and turns it into a strategic process you can actually practice every day. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground, which brings us to the absolute climax of this explainer, the fifth and final behavioral marker.
And here it is, adaptive action. This is the ultimate behavior that synthesizes emotional intelligence, cognitive flexibility, social awareness, and proactive behavior all into one cohesive mindset. So why does this final marker matter so much? Because observation without action is just passive knowing. A superior mind doesn't just understand a changing world, it actively and continuously reshapes its own behavior to thrive in it. What you should ultimately take away from the source material is that intelligence is a verb. It is the real-time execution of all these traits working together in perfect harmony.
Let's lock this all in real quick. 1. Emotional intelligence, mastering your internal state. 2. Cognitive flexibility, bending your thoughts without breaking. 3. Social awareness, reading the external human data. 4. Proactive behavior, anticipating the future. And 5. Adaptive action, executing the necessary change. When you see a colleague calmly navigate a disaster, or a friend seamlessly change their opinion when they're presented with new facts, you're witnessing these markers at work. You are witnessing true, superior intelligence. Which brings us to a provocative thought I want to leave you with. Which of these behaviors are you going to cultivate today? The most beautiful takeaway from this source material is that intelligence isn't some fixed, unchangeable score handed to you at birth. Actually, scratch that, it's a daily observable practice. So take a look at your own life. Are you holding on to rigid ideas? Are you reacting instead of anticipating? Pick just one of these markers, step out into the real world, and start building your own superior mind. Keep observing, keep adapting, and most importantly, keep learning.